You are watching
It's
Xirtus.
weird thinking about how much the world shifted though in that time, like from 2004. I mean, I guess also I didn't follow Tracy Twyman back in the 90s, but apparently there was like the Dagobert or whatever that she was writing, right? It's kind of like a journal that existed. And so, but 2004 or something on, I was more aware of, and you could see, especially 2008, it was more important. In 2012, all of a sudden, this was pretty mainstream how the world had shifted, that we knew everything that we'd heard from the Freedom of Information Act in the 90s about the Clinton administration or about the Bush administration, but that somehow it was being rebranded, that it
Right.
was a good thing. It was like, well, no, now that stuff's in the hands of the Obama administration, and we want them to like give that man a gun. That's
It's
going to be great.
amazing. It's like what they did with Big Pharma, whereas like in all of these things that we used to have these really like we'd share these kind of like, well, yeah, this is look at how what the scam is, like look at how they're scamming us, and now it's like there's like jumping to the defense of Big Pharma. I'm like, PR is amazing how
Totally.
they've managed to do that. It's incredible. Like, is that just money? Like to be able to
I
make
think it's
that to buy
propaganda.
people's minds?
It's propaganda too, because it's like, I mean, I remember that song came out. My president is black, my Lambo is blue. Remember that song, right? And
Mhm.
that had such a vibe. People were really like, wow, like this is the best time that I've ever been alive, because my president is black and my Lambo is blue. Neither one of those things were true. You know what I mean? It's like no one had a blue Lambo or a black president. It wasn't
Right.
real, right?
Well, you saw my tweet today about the time warp, right? So somebody mentioned something about the time warp and Project Warp Speed or whatever. It seems to imply something there. But like that whole thing, like I like that's been since 2008. I've related to the song "The Time Warp" as though it's like totally about politics because it's just a step to the left, another step to the
Yeah,
right. Give
go
it
back to
4 years,
that.
give it 8 years, and then it's the pelvic thrust that really drives you insane because you're getting screwed by whoever it is. That's like the point of the song, as far as I can tell. Which somebody pointed out in the thread too that it kind of speaks to like the rest of the film, like the degeneration of society. But
Plus
yeah.
the time warp, just generally that we're doing a time warp again, that this is something
Hmm.
that they constantly are going through, and it's changing both time itself and the way we perceive reality, right? Because
Right, because the
it's
Back to
very
the
used to it.
Future Trump connection, like that's what we're talking about. That's the "Make America Great Again" thing, which I was also like, not enough people have like watched the Funny or Die with Johnny Depp playing Trump movie. It's like I think it's the
Oh,
only
right.
Funny or Die movie. It's got Alf in it. We've discussed it before. It's
It's
got
not the
Christopher
only
Lloyd.
one, but they also made a
Christopher
Steve
Lloyd
Jobs
shows
one.
up. Oh, do they? Oh,
Yeah,
that's right. Which is the play on the
really
made
good.
TV
It was
one. Yeah.
great. I thought that was
Totally.
awesome.
I forgot
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that one. Yeah. But they do the thing where Christopher Lloyd shows up in this film and is like from the future telling Trump like in the 80s like where it's headed, and it's like Trump shows up with the after that with he's like warning him or whatever. But like yeah, is this the full thing? But actually what's even better than this is actually if you sync this which I have with the Roger Waters album, "Is This the Life We Really Want?" It's tight, but it's so ridiculous. Especially Alf. Alf is the best part of the whole thing, especially if
I
you
love
consider
Alf.
him as like the symbolism with the archetypal fool. That Alf is Aleph and all of that. With yeah, but
There we
anyway,
go. We
yeah,
got
there he is.
Christopher Lloyd, right, showing
Right,
up and explaining what's going to happen in his future. There's just so much to this. And didn't Ron Howard have something to do with this particular?
he narrates it. Yeah, which is really appropriate on
For
multiple
Funny or
levels.
Die to be that big, it's interesting because Funny or Die was like a YouTube group out of New York City, and they got bigger and bigger and bigger until, I mean, to me, it seems like the clearest U.S. aid kind of thing that Funny or Die ended up as success, as important as it was, without really necessarily earning it. However, there were some pretty cool sketches that they did on YouTube. It's just, to me, it's interesting like how much power they had to be able to make a movie in a week, and they made multiple movies that just took a week long, and they
Right.
were really, I
Well,
don't know, but respect, credit
yeah.
where's credit's due.
Well, Zach Galifianakis and the people that were participating, and also just that like indie relationship to comedy sometimes is more funny like than the contrived Hollywood stuff. Even if you have like people that were doing stuff in Hollywood, but then it's like they just did something with some kid on their own, like the landlord bit with Will Ferrell, where the landlord's like a 4 year old girl who shows up drunk, and it's just like it's got like the subtitles where it's hilarious.
Yeah,
But
they did
yeah,
pretty good. I really like the Steve Jobs one because it's like they have they clearly didn't watch any Steve Jobs movie or look into Steve Jobs' life at all, except for what they all kind of had heard at some point.
It's like
through
drunk
the grapevine. Yeah, it was like a drunk history, but better because these weren't even computer nerds. So they had so little of an idea. But
dude,
like, well, it's in the zeitgeist.
You know that there's that made-for-TV movie from the 90s about Steve Jobs where it's got that scene in it with the acid scene where he
Pirates of Silicon Valley.
Is that what it is? He shows up and he's got like their company's failing. They're like trying to sell computers with like wooden frames door to door, and it's just like going under. And it's like and they're like all following the 60s, so it's like I think the 1970s, right?
You're talking about this one, right?
Is Pirates
of Silicon Valley is such a good movie. I love this movie.
So he's like, let's just drop this sunshine acid and screw it. And then all these nerds are like, what, Steve? No way, bro. And then he just like takes it all to himself and ends up like doing some kind of like symphony on the floor. Like he's just, it's so funny.
This is real. Like Pirates of Silicon Valley, relatively accurate. That's one of the more accurate versions of Steve Jobs' life. The Funny or Die movie has like Bill Gates' wife, Melinda Gates, has sex with Steve Jobs using Oculus VR headset, like in Demolition Man. Yeah, like there's just so much. It's classy. Great movie.
I have a friend who I won't say his name because I don't know if you'd want to advertise this, but he used to work directly under Steve Jobs, and he described how this incident would occur apparently more than once, but where he would shout a lot at people. And he, from his office, you could hear the stuff that he was shouting at people. Like it wasn't like a secret. Like he was like a very assertive person, right? We lost the wrong billionaire, by the way, in my opinion. I'm talking about like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. Come on, but like not that he didn't have his issues, but he would literally shout at people to like go home right now. You got to take some LSD. Get something creative.
Henry
you come
Luce,
back.
This like, exact same thing was said about Henry Luce at Time Life magazine, that he would yell this at people openly in the middle of his. Although I think it was more of like an enthusiastic as opposed to like demanding you do it, but it was the same message.
Yeah, like come back with something creative. You're not giving me anything creative. Take time off. Go drop acid. Come back. See what you're coming with. Like it was just that was how he operated. That's like, I don't know how
they should have some Silicon Valley like Fortune 500s that when you sign up you get a drug test, but you don't pee in a cup. They give you some of whatever your company decides is the most important.